5 bells. Stand by all stations.
Attention! All districts, a 5-alarm fire. 5 bells, move in immediately.
That's it. Let's go! Let's go! Firefighters! Presenting Firefighters, the true-to-life story of our unsung heroes who stand ready to ride by day or night against our most murderous enemy, the demon of fire. In just a moment, we'll go to the hospital room where rookie fireman Tim Collins lies after his accident when he was thrown from a fire truck answering a false alarm. It was only pure luck that it turned out to be the mildest of concussions and a sprained ankle. And at the moment, Tim is much more upset over the loss of his ring, which was stolen from his locker at the time of the accident. At the moment, neither Chief Cody nor Detective McGurk see any connection between these two separate incidents. But they're in for a surprise, one which you'll share right after the following announcement. Let's go, firefighters. Let's get over to the hospital room and look in on 3 angry men. Even though rookie fireman Tim Collins will be up and about tomorrow, Chief Cody is plenty mad over the series of false alarms which always represent a needless danger to his men. Detective McGurk is hot under the collar about the number of robberies in station houses while the men are out on call. And Tim is rightfully sore that he was a victim in both cases this afternoon. Only Tim's young brother Jimmy sees how closely this is all related as he looks up and says now,
"Why couldn't the same kids who turned in that false alarm have got by the watchman and robbed the station house?"
First of all, Jimmy, we don't know kids rifle the lockers.
Chief Cody said it was a boy who rang in that alarm.
That's true, McGurk. But what's the connection, son?
This list of fire alarms the junior firefighters who kept, Chief. See, a record of every one the last month.
Isn't that the list of locker room robberies I made out for the chief, Jimmy?
No, sir, but it could be. They're both the same. I just compared them.
both lists are the same, Jimmy?
Sure, Tim, look it. And you, Chief Cody, you see those dates?
On the 1st of the month, there was a false alarm in District 7.
And a robbery in their station house on the same date.
It's the same right down the list. Somebody's turning in false alarms just to get the men out of the way.
Yeah, so somebody else can rifle the deserted locker rooms.
If this is a gang of kids, you'll never find Tim's ring without us junior firefighters.
My ring? Why start there?
Because whoever's got it is a member of this gang. He'd know who rang that false alarm, and that's the guy I want to get, Tim. The one who sent you to the hospital is going to answer to me.
I can't blame you for feeling that way, son. This is bad business. But it's police business.
Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. You get along home now. Explain what happened to Mom and see that she doesn't worry. Huh?
I think the kid ought to have a chance to explain what he just said. It interests me.
McGurk, I know he'd be glad to solve your case for you. Only he has to go to school tomorrow.
That's my point. He goes to school and I don't.
Call the doctor, Tim. McGurk's gone out of his head.
Listen, Chief. There's no cop on earth who can mix with kids like another kid.
Oh, hey, I see his point, Chief. If this is a gang of youngsters...
It is, Tim. And it's possible Jimmy could find a lead none of my men could.
A lead? Gee whiz, I could find every member of that gang by the end of the week.
Oh, now, is that a wee bit of an exaggeration, son?
Oh, I'm not talking about me alone, Chief.
He means that little club he belongs to.
Holy smoke, the junior firefighters isn't a little club, Mr. McGurk. We got members all over the city, in every school.
Say, if you put them all to work on this, Jimmy...
Now, you take that ring of Tim's. If every junior firefighter had a description of it and kept their eyes open for it in every school, I bet we'd find it.
That's what I had in mind, Chief. If this was a gang of professional crooks, it would probably turn up in a pawn shop.
I get it. Being kids, you think it'll turn up on someone's finger.
I don't like this, sir. Kids or not, they may be a tough outfit.
Jimmy will work right along with the police department, Tim.
And when you get on your feet tomorrow, you can work along with him for the fire department, Tim.
Well, if you put it like that, sir...
Swell. It's all settled then. I'll call a meeting tonight, and by tomorrow we'll have the best net out for that gang the police department ever saw.
Well, maybe it did sound funny then. But by late the next afternoon, when Tim Collins hobbled into Chief Cody's office with the aid of his new cane, he found Detective McGurk sitting before a huge map of the city, a look of respect in his eyes.
Take a look at this, Tim.
Yes, sir.
I was just telling Chief Cody I couldn't have organized it better myself.
And I was telling McGurk he couldn't have done it as well. Takes a youngster to understand other youngsters.
What's the meaning of the fire alarm boxes circled in red on the map, Chief?
Oh, Jimmy says those are ripe for false alarms.
The way he and Chief Cody explained it to me, Tim, an alarm from any one of those boxes will call out an outfit whose station house hasn't yet been hit by a robbery.
Oh, I get it. You mean one of them should be next on the gang's list?
Right.
Uh-huh.
I could never spare the men to cover them all.
But after school hours, there'll be at least 2 junior firefighters keeping an eye on each alarm box, Tim.
Very neat, sir. Very neat. They'll nab the first kid who pulls the box.
Well, that's where I had to step in, son. Who knows when it might be the real thing.
Yes, sir. I hadn't thought of that.
If whoever rings in an alarm stays by the box the way they should, the kids naturally won't interfere.
But if he tries to run away, they'll be down on him like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, but listen to my part in it, Tim. Any station house that gets an alarm will pass it along to my department.
With their fingers crossed.
Be serious, Chief. Squad car will be there in a matter of seconds. If the kids sneak by the watchman and into the locker room, they'll be nabbed fast. If it's a legitimate alarm, no harm done.
Well, the three of you sure have this figured out, Mighty Pat.
Oh, we may not pick up the whole gang at one fell swoop, but it will be a start. Oh, excuse me. Cody speaking.
Collins reporting, Chief.
It's Jimmy. You found something, Collins?
You bet. A kid wearing my brother's ring.
The ring that was stolen yesterday? Are you sure?
Yes, he doesn't go to my school, and I don't know him. But a junior firefighter reported he'd seen the ring, and I got over here fast.
Well, where's here?
New Street and Maple Avenue. I'm phoning from a candy store, and the guy wearing Tim's ring is right outside.
Now, look, son, don't get into any trouble.
Oh, gosh, of course not. He doesn't even know I'm onto him.
Fine. Tim and I'll drive right over.
Oh, wait a minute, Chief. You better warn Engine Company 19. They may get a false alarm.
How could you know that?
I followed the kid and another guy to alarm box 231. I think they were casing it.
They were doing what?
Looking it over, making sure they could make a quick getaway. Watching for a chance to turn in the alarm.
Well, you don't miss a trick, do you? Okay, Jimmy. I'll start the wheels turning at this end. You just sit tight till Tim and I get there. McGurk will cover the station house in case you're right about the alarm coming up.
A moment later, Jimmy steps out of the phone booth. As he approaches the door, a look of disappointment comes over his face. Quickly, he turns to a well-dressed boy, a couple of years older than himself, who is sitting at the counter over an ice cream soda.
Say, did you see that kid who was standing outside a minute ago?
Which one do you mean?
He was wearing a gold ring on his thumb.
Oh, yeah, I noticed him. I thought it was a funny finger to wear a ring on.
It's a man's ring. It's too big for him, and it isn't his.
Gosh, you don't mean Eddie stole it.
Then you know the one I mean. You know where he went?
Well, I heard him holler to his friend he was going home.
Do you know where he lives?
Oh, sure. Just a few houses down the block.
Oh, say, would you show me where it is?
You must be a stranger around here. What's your name?
Jimmy Collins. I gotta keep an eye on that kid.
Well, my name's Larry Hayden.
Look, Larry, will you help me or not?
Well, you sound kind of sore about something. I wouldn't want to see you pick a fight with Eddie.
Well, I got nothing against him yet. But I want to know how he got a hold of that ring and, well, I think he's up to something.
Well, he is kind of a roughneck. Always in trouble. What's he done now, Jimmy?
Well, I can't tell you. But he's a little too interested in a fire alarm box to suit me. And I want to keep an eye on him for a while.
Well, gosh, you want me to help you?
Sure. But first, you got to show me where he lives, where he went.
Well, look, I'll have to phone my mother first. Tell her I won't be right home.
Okay. But for Pete's sake, hurry it up,
Oh,
will
I
you?
will, Jimmy. Please excuse me for a minute.
Oh, what a sissy. Why did I have to pick on him?
Jimmy strolls over to the door and waits impatiently for Larry Hayden to complete his call to his mother. And that's too bad, because he'd have found Larry's end of the conversation very interesting.
Is that you, Spike? It's me, Larry. Look, I'm glad you tipped me off about the kid who followed you and Eddie to that fire alarm box. You get hold of Eddie and make him take that ring off. Tell him I said the next time he pulls a dumb trick like that, he won't get in on any more jobs. No, his name's Jimmy Collins. I don't know what he's after. But I'm going to find out. Just leave him to me. So long.
Oh, did your mother say it was okay, Larry?
Yeah, just so long as I don't stay out after dark.
Oh, swell. This won't take too long. Oh, come on, let's go.
Gosh, this is exciting, huh? I just hope you don't get me into any trouble, Jimmy. That's what I hope.
Well, how do you like that? If anyone's heading for trouble, it's more likely to be Jimmy Collins.
Sounded an awful lot like Jimmy's put his trust in the very person he'd like to get a hold of, the leader of that gang. Well, now, to learn what's going to happen, be sure to listen to the next exciting episode of the Firefighters. In a moment, Chief Cody will tell all of you boys and girls how you can help the firefighters in your own hometown. But right now, here's a message you'll want to hear. And now here's Chief Bob Cody with a very special message for all of you in the Firefighters Brigade. Chief Cody.
Hello, boys and girls. I just saw a report recently where 76 fire chiefs from different parts of the country had noticed an increase in fires started by youngsters playing with matches. Now, I can't believe that applies to any of you who listen to me regularly. But I pass it on to those of you who have smaller brothers and sisters. We've talked about how dangerous it is for them. But maybe that report should remind us it can be dangerous for the rest of us, too. So, for all our sakes, let's put playing with matches down as one of the first don'ts. All right? Good. Until next time, so long for now.
Fire Chief Cody and the young rookie fireman Tim Collins will be back on the same station the next time you hear...
That's it. Let's go!
Let's go! Firefighters! Firefighters is a copyrighted feature of William F. Holland Productions.